I'm organised today. I can see all of the chat. Where've I put my grapes? I'm just going to have a munch if you don't mind. So I'd like to say hi to Dave, Richard, Glassy, Jane, Joanne's in there, Barnder's in there, I know. Ross Gilbert, Bob Hoskins. So I'm in my bed today. I'm not in my new normal chair. But fortunately, I haven't had to take any painkillers, so we're living the dream today. So I've just done the premiere on Lighthouses in the UK. Spooky stories. Hi Brian, sweetheart, how are you doing? I was thinking about you guys the other day, actually. I was having a dip down memory lane, and we were talking about what winter used to be like when we were kids. And it's very different for them now. They don't get good winters like we used to get them. I think the year I was born, if I remember, we had the worst winter in Britain. People were... I don't know why, Jane, but you keep flagging your questions, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with them whatsoever. It was doing it to Founder as well. Through YouTube in the new settings, they're doing me head in. These are not just grapes. They are cotton candy grapes from Aldi, and they're like little sweets. Pardon me. When you're craving something, they literally taste like cotton candy. I can't get over it. So, I'll give you a bit of an update on my arm. No progress medically wise. I go back, not next week, the week after, and they're going to discuss again. I'm sick of discuss again. So, physio said to me, "Alright, Deb, you're just going to have to check the pain, and we'll start breaking that scar tissue." So that's what I've been doing. It's been awful. He's a physio terrorist, but I am starting to get a bit of movement back in it. And the pain must have shifted quite a lot, because I'm not as dependent on the pain pills as I was, if you get what I mean. So there's light at the end of the tunnel. So like last week and the week before, I was like, I actually really feel like doing a video. I think I'll go and have a look and see if there's anything that takes me fancy. And I was landing on the Lighthouse one, and I was like, I really enjoyed doing it, to be honest, because it was stories that I hadn't really heard myself, other than the Moore one. So it was quite an interesting thing for me to do. Glassy was just asking me, he's put a video together where he goes out to Ashford and he meets up with the witness, and he films it. He films a conversation. It's about an hour and 20 minutes long or something like that. It's there ready to go. I just haven't scheduled it. So I think they'll do that for not this week, maybe next week. And then we can still have the chat, and it'll just play away, and I don't have to do any work. And then obviously I'll get us something ready for Christmas. Glassy give me a good idea, doing things on the outside rigs and that. I also wanted to look at some of our stranger creature reports around Christmas time, because this is the time of year where we start getting weird footprints and, you know, things like that. So I was thinking about that, doing like a devil's footprint one. I was talking about it with Mike, saying there was a recent case in Scotland. We all know about the one in, I think it was Dorset? Oh, Devon, Dorset, something like that. The one in the 1800s, where the footprints went along everything for miles around. There was a very modern case in the 2000s in Scotland, and there's a newspaper reporting it and a video that was made, and then about 18 months later, there was no information out there on the internet with it. So I don't know what happened to that. Sorry if I'm munching, but it's that all sweets at the minute. I need to get some sugar in me. Oh yeah, I've been doing it much better. I've done some live streams on TikTok. Because for that, I don't have to have a subject. It's just like this. I'm just living and talking. Which I didn't think people would tune into, but they have been doing. So that's helped to distract me a little bit. So I am not going to ask the dreaded question of what have you all got planned for Christmas. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you, do you remember back in the day, it would have been 70s for me, I would imagine, so middle 70s, where you'd go to the markets at this time of year and there'd be a hot potato stall where you could get a hot buttered potato, or you could get hot roasted chestnuts. Huh? Oh, I thought you meant the see you next Tuesday word. Yeah, that word. I would imagine me and Mark will have a very quiet one this year. Kids are doing their own thing, and I think we're just going to go away for the night. So that shepherd's hut that we like. But yeah, this time of year, rather than the C word, back in the day when it was about the Yule and not about the presents. Because I have to say, for anyone from the younger generation, we didn't get the amount of presents that you guys get today. It wasn't like that, even for families with money. We used to get, and I distinctly remember, we were allowed one toy from the big store. And then back in the day, when shops were separate, you went to a fish shop for fish and a butcher's for meat and a greengrocer's for your veg, you know. Corner store normally had all what we'd call a pot shop, so it'd have all your like metal mop buckets and light bulbs and 4 candles and the whole 9 yards. I always smelt of firelighters when you went in. And around Christmas time in the city, they would do a massive window display, and I know they do it now, but we're used to it now. We see it from all over the world now on TikTok and Facebook. Back then, it was fucking magical. Do you remember? All of a sudden, boring grey town that you hated to go to was full of reindeers and magical elves and unicorns and Santa Christmas, and all the stores were done up, and that's what you could smell. You could smell. There used to be oranges and cinnamon for me. I always smelled. I used to put cloves and that in oranges. And we used to dry them on the fire, oranges, and string them up. So that always reminds me of Christmas. And I don't actually like any Christmas food, me. I don't like mince pies. I think they're awful. I don't like Christmas cake. I just have the icing and the marzipan. Yeah, I'm not really a big lover of Christmas food, I'm going to be honest. A tape play, I can remember. We had this rule in our house. I used to get one from the big store, and then obviously the toy store always had an element of it as a pocket money toys, they used to call it, didn't they? Do you remember? For us here in Salford, it was Zodiac, the store was called. And you could get like little 5p and 10p things, like a shilling back then. Or big toys, so like all year she'd say, oh no, that's a big present, that you get that for your birthday or Christmas or something. And then obviously as we got to be teenagers, we wanted clothing, you know, like training shoes or leather jackets. Or I married for a Fred Perry jacket made for about 8 months. When I was about 13, my dad gave in and got me one in the end. Fell off the back of a lorry. Yeah. So I had to be careful where I wore it. But oh, did I think I looked smart in that, in my Fred Perry jacket. We used to get albums. We was allowed albums at Christmas. Yeah, rest of the year you had to get 45s, didn't you? Or sit right next to the telly with your portable mic and you record and play, praying that your nana didn't say anything, or your granddad, while you were trying to tape, and also hoping that the DJ did not talk over the first minute of the song. Like, that was mostly what our Christmas afternoons, every Sunday really, with the charts. But yeah, I don't like sprouts, can't eat them, awful. I'm not a lover of turkey, I think it's a bit dry. Don't get the sausages and blanket thing, I can have them all year round. And roasters I have every Sunday, so It's never really been a big thing for us, Christmas. Tapes and CDs. It was our George's generation. My generation, it were 45s. First one I ever bought was, oh God, what were her name? I'm so lucky. Can't remember now. Probably 1982 or something. And I like was old enough to have big money and I started buying my own LPs. Weren't allowed any of my dad's. Yours was probably the same. In a music centre in every corner of the house, right? Gorgeous, glass fronted thing. You weren't allowed to touch it. You weren't allowed to touch any of the records. You weren't allowed to mess with it. Hi Giuseppe, how are you doing, sweetheart? Blonde hair, the tide is high. I remember that one. Jackie was into blonde. Yeah. I'm so lucky. It'll come to me who it's from in a bit. I was into Madness and that when I was a kid, but honestly, I like all music. I think there's something in all music that you can tune into. David Bowie, excellent. Mark's older than me, 3 years older than me. He was into Bowie and Rush, Queen, obviously. But honestly, we have like a quite a. I'm okay, Giuseppe. I'm doing really well, thank you. I like my Irish tunes, me. I don't know, they just remind me of being young when I have them on. I sing away in the car to Mark when they're on. Oh my Johnny, don't you leave me. There, I can do that one. I can do On the Road to Dublin Town. Yeah, I don't know, they just remind me of being a kid and being at this time of year, searching the house to find me presents. Like, searching everywhere we could. Like, we'd do it in shifts when my mum and dad weren't out about trying to find it. She used to hide them all at my nana's, you know. And we'd go to my nana's and we'd like strip my nana's house down trying to find them. We never did. Never, ever, ever. Yeah. I liked lots of things, me. I was a bit of a punk, I'd say. I got done. I ran away to watch the specials at the NEC in Birmingham when I was 14. I went with my mate. Really, really terrifying. We hitchhiked it from Manchester down to Birmingham NEC. And I thought, well, I'm going to get done anyway. I might as well get really, really done. And we hitchhiked it home. Can you imagine? If the thought of our Layla doing that now would absolutely terrify me. Yeah, fishtail parkers, I had them. In a Peter Storm jacket. We used to go to Morecambe, Brian, every week, like on the weekend on the back of the Vespers. And we were going down Stott Lane. And I'm on the back. As we go over this like little light bump, I flew off and landed in the verge and nobody had noticed I'd gone and everybody just carried on and left me. So they went and I had to walk back home. But just the things I used to do. I used to walk home from town. And like, you think I'd have sense back then, the Ripper was around and everything, but you was just free to do way more things back then. You know, way more things. So like, we'd get in the house now, we'd probably get Satsumas, we'd get decent nuts. And the Nutcracker had come out. You'd get that, it was like a 50p shaped box, and when you opened it, it had jellies, and they were either lemon or orange. Do you remember them? I used to love them. We'd get sugared almonds. My nan used to make them for us. But yeah, we always had like a big joint of pork or a big joint of beef. We've never really been a turkey family, to be honest. And like, Mark will eat whatever you put on your plate. Have you heard Ice Ice? Oh yeah. Yeah. Stop. Collaborate and listen. Yeah. The worst one, I think, was Snow. Informer. Do you remember him? A licky bum bum now. I think that was the worst record ever made in the history of records. Called 3 million times. I know what you mean. Oh, Corner Exchange, flipping heck. I used to go there with Pete when we were young and we first got married. We used to go to Academy as well. Affleck's Palace. Oh, I've had some wild times in Affleck's Palace. Our Jackie copped off with Bez at Stone Road. I've actually got a picture of it somewhere on my Facebook. Everything was better back then. I know I'm biased, but everything was better back then. Just it was. We used to go to Rotters in town, Vicar. Do you remember? Grotters, everyone called it. Grab a granny night on a Thursday. I was stunk a pee when you went in. And like back then, I'm sure it was the same for others because it doesn't matter if you're in America or Canada or England. There's your big city clubs, isn't there? And then there's your town club. So we'd all go to pubs. Yeah, Wigan Pier. We'd all go to pubs till 11:30, and then it'd be like, right, pubs are shut, last orders, ding-a-ling-a-ling. Winkleman's gone home because he used to come round the pubs with a tray like that with loads of like seafood on it, which was the highlight of my night out pub. And then you'd have to go to the big town to go to a club. So if you were skint, you'd go to the smaller clubs in your town, and they were usually old like cinemas, dance halls as they were called back for my mum and dad, or churches, weirdly. And you'd go in and oh my god, they'd stink of like exactly pee, mothballs, pledge. There was one where I lived and all of my aunties on my dad's side worked there. Right? Some worked the bar, some did the cooking, some did the cleaning, they all fucking worked there. So if we wanted free crisp or like a free bottle of pop or something, we'd just go there and marry the aunties and they'd give it you. But it used to stink of like pledge, Winderleen, yeah, and all of the stale beer from the night before. Brian, highlight of me night when the seafood man came round. If I was out on a date and he didn't get me a prawn cocktail, I was not going on date number 2. No, I'm only kidding. I was with Pete from being. I was 16 when we got together and we were wed just as we got to 18. So yeah, none of that for me. But we used to do. He used to take me in. He used to get me a port and lemon, and then he'd go in the other room with his mates, and they'd all like play pool and darts or whatever. And I'd be in the snug with all the mates' girlfriends and boyfriends, and he'd just come in every now. I think that was normal back then. And he'd come in and say, "Do you need a drink?" Yeah, but we never had a mushroom man. Fucking hell. We never had a mushroom man. We just had the guy with the seafood. Mike used to get winkles. I always got prawn cocktail because I had like extravagant taste, as my mum said. I just liked a prawn cocktail. But yeah, no, we didn't have a mushroom man. Oh, I'm sorry, Vicar. I'm sorry to hear that. You can scourge on him. Whoever they are, I'll X them for you. But yeah. I said to Mark today, I'm going to go and get some oranges from thing and I'm going to make some old-fashioned decorations. And he was like, yeah. And I said, yeah, I'm sick of all the glittery tinsel over-the-top things. I just fancy doing some right old-fashioned ones like I used to make with my nana and with my mum. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm having a bad time of it at the minute, Stacey. Vicky, I don't mind telling people. Mark's mum's really poorly. She went into hospital with pleurisy a few weeks ago, and it's been awful for her. It really, really has. So obviously it's his mum, isn't it? So it's bound to be a bit down, and I'm a bit down with it because she's like my mum. I've just always known her, like, and she's always been there. Because I was friends with his sisters before. I didn't get with Mark until I was in my early 30s, around that time. But I went to school with all of Mark's sisters and his brother and with him. So I kind of grew up with him. He was my mate's little brother. That's the way I always looked at him. He's only 5 years younger than me. It's not like he's like 20 years younger than me or something. But big difference that when you're in your teens, though, innit? You know. And obviously he was an annoying little shit. He was my mate's brother back then. He was always on a BMX or a skateboard or up to no good or starting a fire out somewhere or building a den somewhere or trashing something. Yeah. And then one day he was a really handsome dude. And I was like, oh, you've changed. And the rest is history. No, I'm kidding. It was a bit more of a dance than that, but you get what I mean. So, yeah, I think we're both a bit... Yeah, but we understand that a lot of people feel like that at the moment. And I said to Mark, I really fancy doing a live. I've missed the guys. I've not had a natter. And, like, if I can do it like this and I don't have to have, like, a script... and like a guest, and I've not got to remember 1,050,000 things. It's a lot easier for me. A rally chopper. I've never known Mark to get a bike and keep all of the parts on it. So I need to say that up front, right? Same with skateboards. Whatever he gets, he has to supercharge him. So they're like, when he had his BMX, it had proper stunt nuts on it and like proper wheels. He's just a bit obsessive when it comes to stuff like that, right? He's the type of guy who goes, why do I need 2 more pair of jeans, Debbie? But then when he had his bike, I'd be like, oh, I've just got these for my bike, like 90 quid. And he'd be like, fucking hell, Matt, what was wrong with the other ones? That he used to save his money when he was a kid for, for wheels, for his skateboard. I'm not kidding. That's how poor we were back then. But yeah, he did, for his skateboard. Oh, thanks, darling. Thank you so much. Have you just got a gift membership? Are we back doing that now? Thank you, YouTube. I didn't own a bike, and I'll tell you why I didn't own a bike. A, my father was tight, and B, we always lived I up, right? So, me dad, later on, when my dad had money, there was two periods of our life. One when my dad didn't have money, and then one when my dad did have money. So when my dad did have money, when he went to work for Bodies, he got us a Rally 14 or something, because we were all girls. There was no boys in our house. But when I was young, and my sister was much younger than me, he come home this day with his bike, and it clearly been pinched from somewhere, and he painted it with like fucking horrible. You know, like that peach paint they used to paint on Anaglypto every year. They go around, wouldn't they? Oh, freshen it up for Christmas. It was like a magnolia colour, and it was in everyone's house. Yeah, everyone's out. And I went outside, and he painted every bit of the bike with that. And it wasn't like spray paint or anything. It was emulsion. So like the first time, I was like, I'm not fucking riding that. And he was like, you're really ungrateful. And I was like, I'm not really. I'm right in the rain. It'll wash off. And he'd be like, you'll be fine. Just don't ride it round. And I'd be like, I'm not fucking going on it. And it went in shed, and that was it. And I refused. We didn't even have I'm going to be honest, we didn't have a skateboard. We used to get them, you know, them. I was fucking poor growing up. Do you remember them metal things, proper skates, that you put your foot in and tied up? That's what I know skates as. I don't mean them like fancy American ones with a boot and a lace. I mean the good old-fashioned, look like ice grips, didn't they? And had wheels on bottom. When they were knackered and you only had one, we used to get a Beano album, or like whatever album your auntie got you for Christmas, and put it on skate and tape it on, and we'd use it as a skateboard. Now you got to think, when I grew up, it's like this. Everything's like this in Salford, because it's in the valley, if you get what I mean. So whichever way you go, you've got to go uphill at some point really steeply. And we used to just get on them and go. We used to nick tyres out, because we had a scrapyard. We used to nick the big tyres, and we'd sit in the tyres and poof, roll down. The thought of doing it now, how we didn't kill ourselves, I will never know. There was a place down on the docks called the Sandies, and a lot of people from Salford will remember it. It's at the far end. And there used to be a police arms training course, firing range. Yeah. And at the end of it, it was all like, it was sand to catch the bullets. And when we was kids, we used to go and dig through it and get all the bullet casings, and we'd take them back to the scrapyard. And my granddad would give us money for them. Just like, the stuff we used to get up to was awful. Roller disco. I didn't discover roller disco until Mark's sister said to me, have you ever been to Nav? And I went, no. She went, oh, there's a place called Nav. It might even be the same one, Vicky, or was the Nav in Bolton? It's like, oh yeah, we all go skating, why don't you come with us? Like, I was pretty good at skating, me, you know, like, gets there. It's not them things what you wrap around your feet, is it? It's like them American thing. I did all right in them, but that got me cocky. So we had this day at school where you could choose where you went if you were good. So I was like, I wouldn't mind trying ice skating. I've never tried it. She went, right, well, if everyone's good this month, that's what we'll go. We'll go to Altrincham and you can try it. I'm thinking, I'm going to put these boots on the ice, and I'm going to be like Tarble and Dean. Clearly didn't know about Tarble and Dean back then, but you get what I mean, don't you? I'm thinking I'm going to get on and be like Olga Corbett, but on ice. I can't do it. Yeah, Altrincham eye shrink. You know what, Vicar? Mark used to go dressed up every week with his curls done and his aftershave on when he was about 15. Him and Amy used to go to Altrincham all the time. That's where they used to pull birds. Can you imagine? He did. That's what he used to do. Yeah, but he liked the eye shrink. But oh no, I tried it once. Never again. No, I can't even stand up straight. Hi, Jojo, darling. I couldn't even stand up straight. I don't know how you do it. So just I sort of bump. I had jumbo cords on, and they were that skin tight. When I hit the deck, my cords split, and that was the end of my ice skating career. I never did it again. But yeah, yeah. I mean, now I suppose they have like them penguins and all that you can hold on to. I just couldn't do it, Mike. I just like how do you balance on that tiny blade, and how do you keep the thought out of your head that if you fall and all these people are going round in a fucking circle, you might lose your fingers, your hand, or your arm. It's just like we're on like sharp blades here, folks. This is not for me. This is just not for me. No. Why would you do that? Put 2 blades on them so at least like they don't tip. The fuck? You see people, don't you, put them on and then they just like, they get on the ice and the next thing they're like speed skating and dancing and like, imagine, Joe. David Murray fell on me. David Murray was a big lad. He used to sell horse shit on a weekend. I'm not lying. And they're heavy bags, right? And he was like 14 and he was built like a bouncer from Bellevue. He was huge, was David Murray. He was a big lad. And like, we both just went careering at each other. Now you got to think on, the tallest I've ever been in my life is 5'2". Dave Murray was about 6'4", and down I went, and he went on top of me. And all I could think about, Chris, darling, all I could think about was him taking my fingers on me. No, I was green. I was fucking green. Horse riding, I can outdo anyone on an horse. Probably not now, but back then, yeah, probably. My granddad used to stick us on horse. We didn't have like fucking rain. We had reins, obviously, if we needed them, but we didn't have like fucking saddles and all that posh stuff, you know. Till later on in life, you know. I think back then, most young ones got through on an horse, didn't they? But yeah, there's just so many things from back then. I'm not scared of horses. I love him. I love him. I love everything to do with him. I love the smell of him. I fell in horse shit. I can't tell you how many times I've done that. How many times Mark said to me, "You're not getting in this car." And I'm like, "Well, I'm going to have to." Because the stables are always full of shit. When you go down, you smell of it. I fucking love him. I just always have. I've been obsessed with him. My granddad had his own stables. So we didn't just have his horses. We had like other people's horses because he used to let them stay there, livery kind of thing. And he was all, we had like bogies and sulkies and all that kind of thing. So I'm kind of used to horses. And no farm animals don't. I won't dick about with the bull, don't get me wrong, yeah, but farm animals don't bother me. Oh, Glassy, no, I'm not a posh rider, mate. I can get on and ride. Yeah, I wanted to be a jockey when I was a kid. I'm not scared of cantering, believe me. There's just something about it. There's this moment as you go into your canter where you and the horse just become one. And I said to Mark, it must be the same as like riding a motorbike or driving the car of your dreams. There's just this perfect moment where you and this horse are one. And the wind's in your face and your hair's flying. And this, I don't know, it's the best feeling on the planet. You know? Oh, I love it. There's one, what horse used to chase us as kids. Major up on Winter Hill. He's a bit of a contrary bastard. Right, so if you get out of the car and you haven't got a treat for him, he will nip you, he'll butt you with his head, or he'll walk in the opposite direction of you. Like, every single horse has a personality. Jojo will agree with me. Donkey. I love donkeys. We had donkeys. I love donkeys. Donkeys are really, really good alarms. Yeah, you don't get your farm robbed if you've got a donkey. You won't rob your site if you've got a donkey. Donkeys are really, really good alarms. Yeah. And like, there's some things that people don't realise, like horses really should not be, you shouldn't just ever have one horse, because they can get this kind of situation where they get sleep deprived because they're meant to be in a herd. And some horses are that skitter that they'll only go to sleep if there's another horse there to keep guard. So having a donkey in your stables kind of counteracts that. So you just kind of get a more relaxed horse. The problem we have with donkeys is, though, they're supposed to only eat shite. You've got to remember they come from really dusty, barren areas. So when some people get them for the first time, they don't realise it, and they kind of kill them with kindness because they give them like the best of everything. Or they'll just let them roam and eat what they want, and they will just literally eat until their bellies pop. They really will. But yeah, donkeys are amazing. Absolutely amazing. Don't fuck them out with a donkey. You know, I've got a kick on them. It's like some of the tiny ones. I love it when the tiny ones act all dead tough. Like the big stallions, and they start bucking and everything. It's just, I love it. I love sheep. I'm sheep mad. Lamb mad. I always have been. Fairy rings. Oh, God. Oh, I don't know. All animals. I've always been animal mad. Always, always, always. I'm going to have some in my fag. If I was on TikTok, I won't be allowed to do this. I've always found animals easier than people. I'm not talking about horses doing that. What? When did I say anything? I said buck. When a horse bucks, like a buckaroo. Fucking nonce. Yeah? Well, what would you call it when a horse kicks its rear legs, reverse? I don't know. They buck, don't they, Joe? That's what they do. Maybe go and do ChatGPT and ask them about fucking horses. Even from as soon as they're running, they have that, they can kick and they can run. What I'm saying is, it's cute. It's like when you get a tiny kitten and they look like a scary cat, or you get a little puppy and it barks at you like it's this big muscular dog. It's cute, isn't it, when little animals do that. There's a place not far from here and it's called Archon Village. And you've got to be a millionaire just to drive your car in there, right? It's beautiful. It's a beautiful place. And there's a village, Shetland pony. And people never believe me when I tell them this. He kind of turned up there one day. It's a tiny little thing, all white. He looks like what if you was going to draw a mermaid. So he's got all his feathers. He's beautiful. He's absolutely beautiful. But he's tiny. He looks like a tiny little miniature version of a stallion. And he has the same kind of attitude. And he just goes wherever he feels like going, and people feed him. And he has places where he keeps, and he has stables and everything. And he's just kind of, the entire thing you just see to him. And like, nobody believes me when I'm telling him. So I keep saying to Mark, the next time we go up and he's about, I'm going to get a photo of him. Or get him on film or something. Hiya, Bob, sweetheart. Get him on film or something, because nobody ever believes. I'm amazed he's not got his own TikTok page. But he's literally kind of just seen to by the village. And when I first moved round where I met Mark, there was a penguin. No, there fucking wasn't a penguin, Debbie. There's never been a penguin. There was a peacock, and his name was called Pete. And he just turned up one day, and nobody knows where he come from. But wherever he come from, this is a true fucking story, this. Wherever he come from, he had a chicken with him. He always had this chicken companion. And I think they just ran away together. I don't know if it was like the owl and the pussycat and they fell in love. But they just rocked up on the estate one day and just started to terrorise taxi drivers. Now, everyone who wasn't a taxi driver loved him. But they hated the taxi driver. And he'd go to bed at night and the peacock could sit outside the car and go to sleep, so he couldn't move it. or he'd sit on top of the taxi driver. I think he's done something to him at some point, and that's why I didn't like him. He used to sit on the roof of the house, and you know that mad noise he used to make, like that thing that they do. He'd do that, and we'd be like, oh, fucking hell, taxi man's getting it again. It hated him. And they had this kind of, like, it wasn't a love-hate relationship, it was a full-on hate relationship, but everybody else loved the peacock. So he used to nick me bird feeders and run off down the street with him, and all. Like, it was fucking brilliant, he was. And then one day he mysteriously disappeared. He was gone, and we all thought something's wrong because the chicken had gone as well. So it wasn't like poor Pete had killed over and chicken were there, Charlie were there, but he wasn't. They both went at once, and I reckon it was the taxi man, but I've never been able to prove it. But I do. I reckon the taxi man smacked him on the head or something and put him in boot of his car. Oh, he was funny, Joe. He used to sit on the roof of the houses and pull on the TV aerials. Peacocks are mean when they don't have a female peacock around. And him and Charlie couldn't come to an arrangement because of the size difference in both of us. He was a bit of a naughty peacock. They are, the geese. We had geese, Brian, on the... for exactly that reason. And as kids, we hated them. We used to call them the geese starpo. They're mean. Geese are mean. Like, and I know they've not got teeth in that, but they can hurt when they get a good pinch on you. Especially if they only get a bit of your skin at the back on your car. Oh, I hated them. Ducks are not bad. They're mean. The geese starpo. Back then, leggings weren't invented. No, I would have had jods on. Or jeans, probably. You weren't allowed to walk around in leggings and stuff like that back then, were you? I think when I got to about... you got a few trolls in. It might be because I'm not doing Bigfoot stuff and paranormal stuff. That's what I mean, Brian. I know they're not like... can't get you like pterodactyls, but fucking hurt when you get a little bit of these... especially when it's a little bit. Do you get what... hopefully... we've kicked back in. Can you give me a thumbs up, guys, if you can, if I'm back? That was really frightening. I'm back. That's fucking scared me, that. Oh, brilliant. I just had, you know, like I was moaning at you, don't know, about your power cuts and everything. Well, we've just had 3 on a row, and that's what happens. Everything just goes out. But with that one, there was a massive boom. So I think something's exploded somewhere. But if I go down, there's nothing I can do. Once the Wi-Fi, this starts, normally we'll be without power for a couple of days. It can do it. It'll just do it. It's every time there's a storm. There's a guy that lives further down, owns part of the farm property, and he refuses to cut his edges. So they're way up there now. So obviously where all the power points come together, if there's a storm or anything like that, for the last 3 years in a row, it blows the electrics, and then we have to go through it. And then last year the council came in and they made him cut them down. And unfortunately, we're back to where it started, but boom, it just went out. So it's back. You remember we were kids back then, and we used to just you got used to having power cuts. So we always have like candles on the red, and we have torches, and we have like camping lights that just work. So we're never like in the dark, and we even have like a little gas cooker thing. You know, you take camping. Now Mark will get all the camping gear out of the thing because it'll go again, and it just goes down. There's nothing we can do. So the house is on at the moment, but the street's out. So it's just going to keep happening. There is going to be more and more, and we have to get back into that habit. So I would suggest for anybody who doesn't go camping or anything, as the next couple of years play out, you are going to need some alternative resources. So you can't, be being desperate and having fires in buckets and stuff, but just be smart. Just when you're out and about and you see a camping stove, it's all you need, even if it's just a one burner thing, because you can get those packets, the ones that Mark gets, the gas things that go in. We get 6 from Pound Shop in a pack, and then you know that you can always warm something up. So like if the electric goes out, you can't use your kettle. Yeah, you can't use your telly, you've not got any internet, so you need to plan for that. And we've kind of got complacent with it, haven't we? And it always... I don't know about the John Pork and Tim Cheese incident. I don't know what that is. We're already in a place of war, let's be honest. We're at war with our own government. It's going to get worse. It's going to get much, much worse, because the things that the government have got set in place now for our energy has to change. If we want this country to progress. Mark, can you message Erica? She's asking if the power's gone out. She'll be worried. It just goes like, but you get used to it. But yeah, most of what we get now is from abroad. In 2017, without telling you all, we actually sold our offshore gas. We stored it out at sea, and we flogged it for I don't know why we did that in 2017, but we did. And if you think from 2017, it's not been right, has it? Nothing's been right, so it's going to get worse. So you need to be just doing things. When you're in the Pound Shop, grab some candles, yeah, grab some firelighters, grab extra batteries 1 week. And I know people don't have the money at the moment, but when you go to Tesco's or Aldi or wherever it is you go, just buy 1 extra tin of beans, 1 extra tin of stew, 1 packet of extra oatmeal, so that you've got that emergency cupboard. Most of us will have grown up with having stables in the cupboard that you need, and then you'd bring other things other things out on top, wouldn't you? So when I was a kid, flour and sugar, potatoes and things like that, they were your staples, and you always had them oatmeal. And then if you were rich that week, then you bought good stuff, and if you weren't, then and it's just, you don't have to go out and spend a fortune on food and staples. You don't have to do that. You can get a packet of pasta for less than 50p in the supermarket and put it in your cupboard, and it doesn't matter what that date says. If it is sealed in that plastic, it will be fine until you open it. That date is there for food manufacturers to make more money. They didn't have it on when we were kids, and there were far less cases back then of food related illnesses, because we didn't have things that stored for a long time badly. Like in America, it astounds me that in America you put your eggs in the fridge, because I know Mark's just gone like that. The minute you put an egg where it's cold, it starts to decay. Yeah, I've got them, babe. It starts to decay. Eggs are meant to be in a hen house. So think about the heat in the hen house. There's always, if they're room temperature and you turn them around once a week, eggs will last up to a year. So that the stamp on it, they will go off. If they're in the fridge and they've got a date on them, they will definitely go off because they've been stored in the cold. Until you put them in the cold, they're absolutely fine, eggs. You think back in the Victorian days, you used to put them in aspic, didn't they? But yeah, my nana was always just get 1 extra thing, so that you know that you've got enough for a meal if your power goes out for a day or two, Yeah, tins in a suitcase under the bed. There's just things that you can do that will help in the long run when the shit hits the fan. People laugh at preppers, don't they? I wouldn't laugh at preppers. You don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to know that most of the troubles in the world are around money and fuel. Yeah? And most of the powers that be and the wars that are happening in the world at the moment may seem very religious, but it's all about oil and stuff that they can get out of the ground and anything. And they don't care about us. They don't care about the environment. They just care about that money. So you have to make sure that you're in the right place if shit hits the fan. I know Glass is a prepper. We have a Jenna because of situations like this. I have to store my insulin in the fridge. So we have to have a way of keeping that fridge going. Yeah? We've had it forever. It's not a new fridge. We've had it a really long time, at least as long as the time I've been married. And I said to Mark, we don't have the girls anymore, and we need to buy a much smaller fridge. It's a waste of electricity. We don't need it. We just need a much smaller fridge. And that's much less on the generator to use it, you know? There's just, for all we haven't been camping this year, we have kept up with the camping kit. Because you just don't know. Yeah, and there were points when we were kids where it was so cold, and they do this in other areas of the world, that we would put, do you remember the old green tents you used to get, that you used to go camping in? If you put a tent, if you can't afford gas and electric, or everything goes out and it gets so cold, and this might sound mad to some people, open a tent in your room and get in it. Because then it enables your body heat to stay in that. And they do it in emergencies all across the world. And when we were younger, there used to be information out, didn't there? On the TV and on the radio. And it'd say to you, make sure you've got spare candles. Make sure that you've got this. Make sure you've got that in case it happens. You know, spare water and all of the above. And I don't think we do that anymore, do we?
No.
I'm just laughing at Brian saying he spent a fortune on light bulbs in the fridge because he keeps opening it. Which is, it's just, I don't know, I've always had that mentality, mate, where I'm more of a mend it. If I can fix it and make it do, then I'll fix it and make it do rather than buy old. But you just, sometimes you have to have beans on toast. You know, not every night it's a steak night, is it? But it's just what you have to do. That's what I mean, man with a pan. That's all I need. I just need a 12 volt. Like, it's all for, really, is we have pop for the kids, like cans of pop in the fridge. And then obviously normal things like cheese and bacon. But we don't have a massive amount because it's just me and him at home now. I don't really like putting my fruit in the fridge. So I make sure that if the fruit's out, you eat it. If they put it in the fridge, they don't eat it. So I'll eat fruit every time I go past it. I don't know. There's just, you make sure there's always enough in your house to make at least 3 teas with what you've got in your cupboard. And then, you know, you might have to stretch it out with a bit of oatmeal and stuff like that. But I think most of the world's like that. I think we've become complacent because things are just at your fingertips now, aren't they? So you can get anything you want from all over the world by just going to your local shopping centre. But what if all the power goes out? All of that food, other than the dry goods in that shopping centre, is going to go off, innit? So there'll be panic buying. People will start to panic. At the minute that your electric starts going out in the shops, Why is the thumbnail pic of you a picture of me in prison? Because normally people expect me all of the time to do Bigfoot stories or paranormal stories. And my TikTok photo is me in an orange prison thing. It's AI. I've never been to prison in America. I've never been to prison in the UK either. Well, I've visited a few, yeah, but I've never been myself. We have them all the time, Richard. We have them all the time. We had them in summer. Yeah. The worst for us is like the water, when the reservoirs run dry. So when it's like this, it's brilliant. There's loads of water in. In fact, it's a bit fucking full at the minute. A lot of Winter Hill up top, it's flooded in the low areas. Orabin Lane, you can't drive up on it, so it's why I've not been up. No, I'm not far from Yorkshire, though. I live in Lancashire, so Yorkshire's this one and Lancashire's this one. So I live here, I'm on the west coast. And there's like a moor, if you remember the American Werewolf in London. Well, I live on one side of that moor and Yorkshire's on the other. That's it, Brian. I've been having to do cryptid stuff since 82. And I've never been to India. I've never been lucky enough to go to India, I'm afraid. I haven't really travelled the world. I've done all of England, but I've been to like Turkey and I absolutely hated it, I'm going to be honest. But I was young and good looking back then and blonde, so, you know, it wasn't the best holiday I'd ever had. But no, I've never been lucky enough to go. Absolutely love the food though, I've got to be honest. My dad was born in the 40s and we grew up, we grew up in a town where there was a dock, so we had ships coming from all over the world. So we were really lucky back then that the city that we live in was really cosmopolitan. So you've always been able to get really good curries and curries from different parts of India and across the world, in all honesty. You've always been able to get different kinds of food. So we were brought up on curries, honestly. I don't think there's an English household that didn't have a Pyrex dish that your mum or your dad made a banging curry in, and it was always like a treat of the week. Back when we didn't have takeaways and stuff, that was amazing. Yeah, I love naan, and I love, is it pash? I always get the name wrong. It's the one that has coconut and sultanas in the naan. Oh, I love that with honey. We grew up on that. But no, we've always been a family that'll try anything. I'm too tired to get flooded. It just, for us, I'm too high up to get flooded. It's not going to flood where I am. I'm really lucky. It doesn't matter how bad the weather gets. Do you know? Yeah, Vans, Timberland, North Face, Nike. Adidas is my favourite. All of my trainers are Adidas. All of Mark's trainers are Adidas. The trainers are over there, so I'm just looking at them. Yeah, all of Mark's are Adidas and all of mine are Adidas. And other than that, I have my riding boots, my paddock boots, which means the bottom of them is like Spider-Man. So even when you're on the cobblestones, and if there's shit or it's slider, you don't move. They're brilliant. So like, even though I haven't rode for a while, I still have my paddock boots because it's snow, ice, doesn't matter. They're like Spider-Man feet. They keep you up. See, Brian, I said it like I had a trainer collection, didn't I? Right, you've got to remember, it's very rare, but I go for a long walk anywhere. So my trainers look like they've just come out of the box because I wear them, to the car. And then I get in a mobility scooter and go around the shops and I get back in the car. Mark, I'm fortunate that he's not mad on trainers because he's cost 3 times what mine costs. He buys the same ones, but because his feet are so big, it costs him a fortune. So even he has his good trainers that he doesn't wear, and then he has his ones where he, like when he takes Roy out and all of that, he has them Aldi walking shoes so you don't get back. You're 23. If it's about love, no, I'm not the person to ask if it's about love. I'm far too old. I'm 58, and I've been married a very long time. You'd be amazed the amount of men that ask me the strangest questions on TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook, and I say I'm married. I'm very clearly married. It says married on my profile, and then they go, "I know, but," and you think, what kind of woman are you looking for? Like that. Oh, career-wise, ask away. If I can't answer it, I'm sure someone in the chat could. When we was young, and when I say young, I mean 14. So like the last 2 years of school was really when named things started to come out, wasn't it? Before that, you had those black gusset pumps for PE when you were in small school, and then you kind of went up to like them white, what I would call tennis trainers. So they're just white, aren't they? They just look like Chuck Taylors, but no brand name. And then I think for me, I was about 14 when I got my first pair of Adidas. And like we've always been taught that whatever you get, you got to take like that's all you're getting. So that needs to last a year. So when you take them off your feet at night, you wipe them down and you put them back in the bottom. I've always been the same. I'm like, I don't have that kind of money where I can just buy whatever I want. And honestly, my girls are the same. I've taught them to look after things if they get them. Chicken and nettle curry, oh, I could hammer that. I love nettle, mate. I absolutely. People say, how can you eat that? Because it fucking tastes nice and it's full of iron. Have you collected the seeds, Jane? Too late this year. But next year, as you're going to pick your lettuce, especially the male ones, collect as much as, I just use a newspaper, collect as much of it as you can and put them in a jar. You can use them like poppy seeds. You can use them for anything. And this the same, absolutely full of protein again. Yeah, gusset pumps, as we used to call them. Honest Jane, you will love them. Give them a try. You will absolutely love them. But yeah, they're really good for you. Really, really good for you. I find they fill me up a bit, actually. There was a new one on me this week. I think I know my plants, don't I? And I did not know that the one that I call Old Lady's Lace was part of the carrot family, and I could have been eating it through. I didn't know. I never knew. I was a bit dodgy with that one. It's not yarrow. And I'm never quite saying, is it St. Anne's Lace, a Queen Anne's Lace, that one? Did not know that that was a carrot and you could eat it. So you do learn something new every day, don't you? You never stop learning. Monkey boots. Can I get off this bed? 1 second. Don't you fucking fall. I knew it every time. Can't do it. Can't get my legs to do what I need them to do these days. They just won't fucking do it. Oh, it doesn't have to frustrate me, I'm going to be honest. I'm sorry for moaning. Right, stay there. One little bit with your foot, Deb. There we go. See what I mean? Imagine having to do that in the middle of an interview or a TV job. I forget. I go to get something, my legs just won't work. Ugh, no, thank you. No, but there is birds on OnlyFans. You can pay for that. Not from this sweetie pie. No, I'm very loyal to me, man. Ugh. But yeah, there you go. I can't. Mark's got monkey boots right there, and I can't even get my legs to swing round to go and get him. And I knocked the stand trying to do it. But yeah, I think we're both old-fashioned, aren't we? I have a pair of docks. Yeah. I haven't. Do you know what, Brian? I've been really good. I haven't had any slices of anything. But what I have been doing is, do you know when you go to Aldi and you get them steam puddings, or like a sticky toffee steam pudding, or like a raspberry jam? I've been getting them and just having half with some custard, and I tell you what, they won't inject into my shoulder until my glucose levels are below 60. And they should be below 60 anyway, because I'm a diabetic and that's not a good number. And I think because I've been in pain and I've just been like fed up and in bed, when I went to get it done, they were like, no, Deb, you can't. It's 70, you've got to get it down by 10. So I've been really good. My sugars have been brilliant. So I'm hoping when I go in 2 weeks, they'll go, right, because they have said to me, the minute it goes under 60, we'll inject into your arm. So they're going to inject lidocaine into it and then just break that scar tissue, which I've had done before, and it's nowhere near as bad as at the minute I'm having to do press-ups off the wall to get it to snap itself. So there's definite light at the end of the tunnel, but I don't think I'll ever come back and be as I used to be. I think them days are over for me. Oh, Joe, that's a lot. I bet every time you're standing up, you feel dizzy as well, don't you? That's not going to help with vertigo. But yeah, so I don't think I'll ever be back in the way that I used to be. So it's just finding a new way, really. Joe said to me, just go on and talk, Debbie. Just go on and just talk. Because like, normally I'm like, right, I need to get subjects and I need to get all these notes together. And when it's like this, oh, Brokes. That texts me right back. Oh my God. Bloody hell, Joe. All the shoes we used to have. Do you remember those cloth boots, ladies? They were out about the time of Bananarama. And they were like a tucker boot, but long, and they wouldn't fucking stay up for nothing. We used to spray them with starch and hairspray and everything to get them to stay up. I do remember dealer boots. Crepe, I had a pair of black crepe bottoms, I remember them. Cut the shit out of my feet, but I still wore them. I had a pair of boxing boots that honestly, I wore them till they fell off my feet. Mine have always been like riding boots or like black leather boots of some kind. I've always been. Platforms ruled. I used to wear high heels everywhere, Joe. I used to run in them. Never had a problem with heels. I used to strap my boots on and just run, you know? And like now, I wouldn't even be able to do high heels. I wouldn't know what to do in them. I have sliders, not the ones like the Adidas and stuff. I think you'd call them like mules or something. I just have flat, nice ladies' shoe that's not a flip-flop and hasn't got an heel on it. So I live in them. Honestly, I live in them. But yeah, segs in wheels. My dad was a bastard for making us clean our shoes. He used to say, no, you can't go out dressed up and have dirty shoes on. Like, you've got to make sure that you're dapper. You've got to get your shoes done. And, like, he used to sit there and do them. We actually still have a kit. Does anybody else? We have a shoe box under the sink, and it's got, like, the suede brushes in and the... Mark makes me put the lighter on it, like that. And then he does his boots. But, yeah. I don't mind. I kind of enjoy doing that, mate. Yeah, you do, don't you? It's like, if I'm going to a funeral or I'm going somewhere, I'm going to do my boots the night before, make sure they bob on. Dad'd kill me. He'd absolutely kill me. But I'm quite old-fashioned, right? If the kids need anything, they're like, Mum, have you got any Vicks? Yeah. Mum, have you got any Albus oil? Yeah. Mum, have you got any, like, Pledge? Yeah, it's under the sink. Have you got any? Yeah, it's under the sink. Yeah, it's under the sink. I go to theirs, I go, have you got any cloths? No. Have you got any tea towels? Somewhere. Like, for fucking... So the next time I go, I take my own and leave it there. Yeah? The amount of plates you take home from my house, I'm amazed there's anything to eat off. Because when Layla, Zane and Erica all come at the same time, they eat me out of house and home. And I won't leave any sweet stuff in the house. So every time they come, I always make like a sticky toffee pudding and custard, right? This time of year, obviously not in the summer, I'll do something else. But I always do a family size one because it's the only way I know how to make it. So I make them take it home with them. So it's not in the house and I can't eat it. Do you get what I mean? It's like, take that out because I will eat that later on. And then never get me fucking bowls back or me tubs that I take them over in. Never. Never. Do you know what, Fonda? I've been making sticky toffee puddings my entire life. And the other week, I can't do it. I tell Mark how to do it and Mark does it. So if I say I make a sticky toffee pudding, Mark goes through the motions. I got out of panic. I was like, oh shit, I've not got the girls a pudding. What am I going to do? I got the one from Aldi that's $1.99. Not the posh one, just the normal $1.99 one. And honestly, it was better than mine. It was a lot lighter. And it was really enjoyable. And I said to Mark this week, no, I'm just going to buy one. And I don't get special custard. I just get Aldi custard. And I think you get used to certain things, don't you? So when they come now, normally, you've got to remember Zane's 11. He's a growing lad, so he eats a meal the same size as Mark. So last week when they came, I had to do 2 chickens and 2 full bags of roasters. And Mark couldn't finish his dinner, and Zane finished it for him. And then he was like, Nana, have you got any spare roasters? And I was like, yeah. And I give him what was left over. And that's quite normal in our house. There's no such thing as leftovers in our house. And then they have a big pudding and then they fuck off home. and we have to tidy. Well, we have to take them home, and then we have to come back and tidy up. I can't moan though. Layla swapped a job. She's gone from Morrison's now. She's in Nando's. She absolutely loves it. Me nana made the best trifle in the world, Vicar. Honestly, I do. I make apple crumbles, apple pies. I do apple and black bread. I do rhubarb. Anything that I get on a forage, I'll make into pies, pasties or crumble, because Mark loves them. And if I've got peaches, I do peach cobbler for him. He likes that. But my nan used to do a big trifle. Not the sherry one. I don't like it when it has sherry in it. She used to do a big one like that for me dad. And my dad used to eat it with a big serving spoon. And then she used to do us one. Like, oh yeah, crumble and cream. Can you come next Sunday? Oh, bloody hell, if you not. God, I would make you a Sunday, you know. My lad said, he said to me, do you know what? No, told me mates how banging your chicken dinners are. I was like, did you, son? He went, yeah, they're banging. I was like, well, that must be a massive compliment. They're absolutely banging, apparently. Yeah. I've always spoiled him. From the minute he could eat, Brian, I have put whatever we've had in a dish and mashed it up. We've never been a baby food family. I just like, we're having tater ash, he's having tater ash with us. If we're having Sunday dinner, he's having Sunday dinner with. I just ribs and everything, just mash the fucking thing up. So like from being little, yeah, nah, it was like, you know, the accent they have that like he has his at home voice. And then he has his on his Xbox voice talking to his mates, and he sounds like a yardie from London. Yeah, and like it's all that, bruv, in it, bruv, yeah, right, man, yeah. I say to him, don't talk to me like I'm your grandmother. Yeah, so he talks to me normal, but yeah, my nana's dinner's banging. Blended up, but that's all we've ever done. That's all we've ever done, Brian. Like, it's weird, isn't it? It's like the kids won't have porridge unless it's me that makes it. Because all that packet stuff that you get, it's not the same as it as homemade stuff. It's sweet and everything. So like, yeah, and I like making rice pudding. I love a rice pudding. I do love a rice pudding. Yeah, just not something about rainy afternoons on a Sunday, and you just think, oh, I've got rice pudding. I can't have it cold, or anything. Believe me, I can't. Jodie can, but I can't. But yeah, there's something about a bowl of rice pudding that you just think, oh yes, that's what I'm having this afternoon for my fika. And if anyone doesn't know what a fika is, it's a European term for that little snack you have in the afternoon between your dinner and your tea, where you think, oh, I could just have a coffee and a biscuit. That's called a fika. Yeah, so that's what you do. You have a fika. Oh, nutmeg. My mum does a banging one, Brian. My mum does one. Oh, I'm going to keep saying banging now. Oh, no. No. No, Deborah. There is a woman out there on TikTok who's my age who says booyaka in the place. And it drives me mad every time she says it, because nobody that's the same age as me should be saying booyaka in the place. Yeah, I'm sorry. So I'm thinking about starting a petition. That's how livid I am. I'm booming. Absolutely booming. Booyaka in the place. Yeah, I can't with it. I just can't. So Layla sends it me now. Yeah. It's like, I've got bipolar, I'm schizophrenic. Booyaka in the place. I was like, what the fucking hell have you sent me? Now she keeps sending it to me. Yeah. Booyaka in the place. It's like, oh, why did I ever go on TikTok? It's full of nutters. Has anybody ever heard of Bob Hickman and that Amber? And he keeps her downstairs in that basement. I discovered him because my mate Natalie, who's into Kabbalah stuff with me, was into the Kabbalah with me. She suggested it. And it's this crazy guy in America. And he's got this girl who can't talk. She used to be really pretty, right? And when you see her now, she never speaks and she's dead thin and like, oh, it's awful. It's like something out of Psycho. And he actually has an old 80-year-old mum who lives in the house somewhere no one's ever seen her, ever. And this is like streamed 24 hours a day. And above her, there's a name on the wall, and it was like Penny Len and a date. You know what I'm like for being a nosy bastard? I ran it. And there was a girl called Penny Len Ove that went missing from the same area on that day. So I think I'm going to have a deep dive into that and see what I can... It is very disturbing, Fonda. Do you know when you're that malnourished that you literally you can see every bone? And he'll come down into the basement and he'll handle like I think in America they call it pork and beans, but for us it's like beans and sausage, isn't it? So he'll hand her a tin or a tin of soup, and she literally can't open it. She's so weak and shaky she can't open it, and he won't open it for her. And she just begs him and he won't do it, and he just leaves her. And then every now and again you see him give her money. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. So it's like, oh, if I'm bored this week, I might have like a bit of a deep dive into that and see how we go. But yeah, we've had a good night tonight, haven't we? We've just reminisced. Booyaka in the place, Brian. Yeah? Here's one for Brian. What the hell? That Deborah. Do you remember him? Deborah. That Joe. That witch, Joe Weeks from Southampton. She stabbed me in the back, she did. That was funny. Them days, with the hell. That was funny, that Deborah. Oh, God, he hated me, didn't he? I actually miss those days. Robert, he absolutely used to rant and smash his flat up and everything on a live. Do you remember when me and Joe was on a live? And he said, I'm going to go and smash me flat up. And I went, well, more fool you. And he went, what? And I was like, well, more fool you. Go and smash your fucking flat up then. Oh, we used to roll about laughing, didn't we? I miss him. Do you know what, Brian? I've got a little bit of an inkling that I might have picked up on his trail, and I'll tell you why. For some reason, I've always watched the boxing, and I like the outer ring boxing as well. So there's a lot of channels in there on YouTube and that cover him. And I overheard this guy say, do you not remember that dickhead from years ago from fucking Scotland called a werewolf? Big fucking fucker with a thing on his head used to call himself the werewolf, and I thought, And he went, she said, right, all the time, and I thought, could it be? Could it be? So I made myself a note. I was like, right, I'm going to have a nosy and see if I can find him again. Right. I did, Joe. Oh, yeah, I did. I got taught to box from being tiny. My dad taught me how to box. And when I got taught properly. Back then, girls weren't allowed to fight and get a licence. I think I missed by about 5 years, because about 5 years after, when men go professional and women were not allowed at the time, the rules changed. Jane Couch from Blackpool, I absolutely adored her. She was younger than me, and she was around the generation that could fight legally, and she was fucking brilliant. I absolutely loved her. But yeah, if I could have had a go of it, I'd give it a try. I used to be really fit, Joe, believe it or not. I used to walk. I'd drop the kids off in the morning, walk 5 miles to work, and then I'd do my shift and walk 5 miles back, get the kids, take them home, because I was a single parent then, fly through the house, do the teas and all that, and then I'd go boxing for an hour and a half, or I'd teach. I used to teach Taibo at one point, and in my bedroom, honest to God, I had a proper boxing bag. So if I ever got stressed or angry or, like fed up, I just used to go in and go through my routine. And I could do, CLA, in that place. Darling, do you know, John, would you say that me and CLA have the same accent? I'm so glad that someone's coming here who knows who I'm talking about. I would say that CLA's accent is very, very different. Oh, Dakota. I'm with you on that one, Glasser. I would say that CLA and I talk very, very differently. And do you know we're from the same area? All that London talk, that booyaka, all that shit that she comes out with is, you don't speak like that if you're from around here. You want to chuck me in a pit. See, see, if you throw me in a pit and try and do the lotion thing on me, I'll manipulate you into coming down into that pit, and then I'll just rip your soul out your body and use your body to climb up out of said pit, and then I'll be one at the top going, rub the lotion in your skin, dickhead. Booyaka in that place. There's a girl on TikTok and her name's Chelsea Lee. I say a girl, Vic. She's between my age and your age. I think she's about 50 or something. And she's called Chelsea Lee Art. So just put Chelsea Lee Art in and she will come in. But she's from Clitheroe, Vicky. So when you hear the accent, you're going to be like, why the fucking hell's talking like that? It's all like, I'm an OG when I'm in London, mandem in the place, in it, bruv. Oh, yes, brother. Yes, brother. All of that she does. And it's like, she's from Clitheroe. Oh, Brian. You're in for a treat, Brian. I'm telling you now, you're in for a treat. Because get a brew and get some munchies, because you're going to be there a while. Right, Chelsea Lee Art. She lived in a council flat in an area just off Chelsea. Her name's not Chelsea, her name's Leanne Feely. But her name for everything is Chelsea Lee Art. She bought a fridge. Are you ready for this, Joe? She had a lovely council flat, right? It's really expensive to get a council flat on the edge of Chelsea. You'd have to be right lucky, wouldn't you, to get that? It's got that, and it's really nice. Orders a fridge that's an inch too big. So, rather than send said fridge back, she tore the unit out. So a troll on TikTok said, if you tear your kitchen out, I'll come and pick one in for you next weekend for free. And the silly cow fell for it. So she pulled all of the kitchen units out, sink, the whole 9 yards. She didn't turn any water off, right? Didn't cut off the electric, nothing. Pulls it all out, and you're like at the back of the cooker and that, where the cooker's been, it's greasy. Gets a kettle and starts pouring it on the grease while all the electrics are still on. Number one, just take the fridge back and get a fridge 1 inch smaller. No. She goes to war with the council. Whilst all this is happening over the last 5 years, she's earned over at least £1 million. She's on Kick and she's on Instagram. I think she might even be on here, Chelsea here. So she's had about £1 million bribe and never paid a penny to the taxman. So the taxman suddenly goes, we want to look into you. So instead of doing what a normal person would do, she decides she's Ronnie Biggs and she runs away to Spain. Can't speak the language. So she's literally in Spain, live streaming every day, and people are sending her thousands and thousands of pounds. And now you think, oh, it's nothing entertaining about that. Go and watch her. Go and watch her. She gets off her trolley. She got a trifle out last week on a live stream. Ronnie Biggs, Ronnie Pickering. Who else? Kenneth No, she thinks that's who she is. She's like, no, I'm an OG for him. Like, it's not going to come over here, are they? Yeah, so she's been doing that for the last 6 months, going on about how hard she is, and if the police come and get her and all that, she's knows boys in London and stuff. Next thing, she's crying. The police are going to arrest me. Like, they've said they're going to come over here and arrest me, and I've got to go back on 22nd. I was rolling about laughing. I was like, have you never heard of karma, sweetie? Got to your age and you've never heard of karma. Get this, Joe. There's a guy that follows her, and he's clearly easily influenced, and I would say, I think he has carers, and his name, whether it's true or not, is Lord Andrew. And he sent her £800 for accommodation. And somehow, by the time it got to her, it was 8 grand. She'd had it or not. And she refuses to pay him back. She won't give him the money back. So what's funny about it is, whenever she goes live, it's just trolls like attacking from like left, right, centre, just taking everything they can, just going at it. And I needed that break when I couldn't work and my arm had gone. And honestly, I was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I just thought I needed that like break kind of from reality. And you think, fucking hell, my life's not that bad. And the whole Kabbalah thing. Glassy Gleamer said to me months ago, Debbie, what do you think about this, like, 3 people living in the woods in Scotland? And I said to him, oh, it'll just be a skit. I thought it's something for TikTok or YouTube. They've done it, the press have come out, they've done it just so they can make this, like, whole kerfuffle and they'll get loads of money. No, when you start digging it, there's 9 kids gone, you know, into care. 1 baby's gone missing, could have been sacrificed. 1 girl's been brought over from America and she's dead. Another girl's come over from America and they've had to take her baby. It's absolutely mental. When you go down it, what we've got is, you know, when you get them really, it's a cult. I don't know any other way to put it. And it's run in the sense that it's the promised land. So anybody who comes, they tell people that they've got like a farm and they've got like a wellness centre. They're homeless, they haven't got anything. They haven't got anything. So one of them's in detention at the minute and the 2 women have gone on the run. So it's kind of entertaining to watch. It's like brain candy. You don't have to think about it very much. But when I started digging, I found that like the dark side. I haven't dug into Chelsea yet, John. You'll have to check my YouTube channel out. But the other night when she was crying and she went, I've got Chelsea Lee, Chelsea, you booyaka! I rolled. My head nearly come off. It was the booyaka like that. I stuck it up on my TikTok. It's probably like, oh my God, it's gone mental, hasn't it? But I've never seen a grown woman cry and say booyaka at the same time. So she used to have lovely, honest to God, she used to be a good looking girl. I went back and looked. She was not a bad looking girl. She had a decent body on her. Nice pair of tatas, yeah. She wasn't bad looking. I don't know what's happened, but things are very different. I'm sorry. I shouldn't go like that. I should have been, booyaka. It was just brilliant. It was brilliant. I couldn't stop saying it. So me and the kids are saying it to each other now all of the time. Yeah. It is classic. It's just I've not seen it on YouTube. I'm going to be honest. I haven't seen like the begs that you get on TikTok. Booyaka, booyaka in that place. Yeah, it's I'll stick it up on my short, Vic. When I finish tonight, I'll pop it up on my short for you so you can see it. It's fucking brilliant. Yeah, I need to do a. I keep saying to Mark, I'm going to get some clips of Chelsea and put them together. So it looks like a conversation, but it's just her saying the most outrageous things that she said. I really intend doing that, but yeah, I will do. Oh, it's funny. It's beyond funny. And I've not, like I say, I've seen people. You do see like big YouTubers asking for money all the time, don't you? And pushing Patreon and pushing PayPal. But that is nothing compared to what they do on TikTok. I was telling Mark earlier, there's an American lass come on. American lass who comes on in the morning, America time. She will only stay on till 11 a.m. And every day for the past 4 years, she's told people that she needs $90 to $100 to pay for the hotel room, right? You work that out, £100 a day. Just do it for a year. What's that? It's undeclared. She doesn't pay taxes on it. And the way she does it is she claims that she's homeless with 2 dogs. I've never heard those dogs. I've not heard them snuffle. I haven't heard a collar shake. I haven't heard an ear shake. I haven't heard that tapping on the lino. Nothing. And constantly, all of the time, people give her the money. Every day when it gets to 11 o'clock, they give her the money. And what's work? There's loads of him like that. There's loads of him like that. And they get yaka jaka shaka. Booyaka in the place. Let me see if I can do it from here. Can I get in my TikTok from here? I've never tried on my laptop actually. Let me see if I can. My TikTok is not about the paranormal, right? My TikTok's Debbie Crossley. That's me having a laugh with my husband, and it's not. I've never like shared it with anyone because it is not professional in any way, shape, or form. 1 second. I think I can. I think I found it. I've just got to get into my own video.
What's your name? My name, Booyaka in the place, Chelsea Leo. Yes, that's my name.
That's what she used to look like, right? Not bad, that is it. Not like she's got some tattoos on her.
What's your name? My name, Booyaka. That's what she used to look like, right? Not bad, that is it. Booyaka, hello everyone. Booyaka is your mom's sweetheart. Booyaka in the place, Chelsea Leo. Booyaka in a Louis Vuitton. Booyaka!
She's famous because she had a meltdown. And when she was having the meltdown, she went, I've got bipolar, schizophrenia, and booyaka into place. So he made... Didn't she look different back then, John? She looks so different to how she is now. I honestly thought the woman doing it now was doing a skit of the early Chelsea. So when I realised it was the same woman, I was so shocked. I think she's had fillers and they've slipped or something. Because her mouth's disfigured now, isn't it? And like round ears disfigured. But what she does, right, Vicky, is... Do you know, like, you get the I don't use filters because when people see your face normally, they get, if you use filters, they think, fucking hell, you look rough. So I just like them to see my roughness straight away. It's over and done with, innit? But some of the women on there will turn that smoother right the way up. So when you see her on camera, she looks beautiful. But as she moves, the filter switches. So you go, oh, Jesus. Yeah. Oh, repel thee, Satan. Yeah, all of that goes on. Brian, I'm telling you, you're going to boil you're going to need to make new eyes out of boiled eggs and blue tack, son. I'm telling you now, you'll get a spoon and pull your own eyes out when you start watching it. It is mental. So before I came on to you guys earlier, she'd been on the bevy most of the day, and she bought a box dye in Spain, and all of the ladies will go, oh no, yeah. And has decided that she's going to take her dark hair to blonde in one sitting by leaving the bleach on all night. So I will be there in the morning when she gets up and no longer has a hair on her head, and we have a bald booyaka in that place. Yeah. I cannot wait. Yeah. Vicky, she said she's whacked it on. There's no ammonia in it. If it's two products that you mix, there is definitely fucking bleach in it, right? And that's it. She went, right, I'm going to leave it on all night. She is absolutely unbelievable. She's absolutely crackers. But yeah, if you don't mind me doing live streams like this where we just do them off the cuff, I'm more than happy to do them. Yeah, it's because I don't mind having it. I want to have a laugh. I want to talk about subjects that make you go, what? Yeah, because believe me, hi Valka, there's people on TikTok that make you go, what? What? Let me have a look, what's it saying? She will. She'll be bald, burnt, head will be done. So what she does is, Fonda, she used to have beautiful hair. She really, really did. She used to be a really good-looking lass. And I don't know what happened. And I think she over-bleached her hair at some point. And she kind of lost it. So she's, for the past about 2 years, she's been walking about with things wrapped round her head. And I feel really bad because I don't like putting women down, but I've got to say that anything will go around her head. So she's gone to Spain with one suitcase. So some days it'll be white linen pants and she'll wrap them around her head and just go out in public like that. Or she'll put, like, you know, like you get a turban with a flower on front, what you put on babies. She'll put one of them on and then she'll put an headband on top of it. And then she'll wrap a scarf around it. And then it's like this by the time she finishes. And I think, what are you doing? So the day, this things, Brian, can you imagine your son ringing you up saying he hasn't got enough money for your rent? And you saying, I'm not interested, son. You're a grown man. Fuck off. I'm in Spain. The same afternoon, you go to a hairdresser who does your hair for 150 quid. And you go, here, have £100 tip. Let me run that by you again. A son phoned her at dinner time and said, Mum, can you lend me 100 quid to make me rent? And she told him to fuck off. She went to the hairdressers, paid £150 to have her hair done very badly. It was a purdy cut, and I'm not kidding. And then said to the hairdresser, here's £100 tip. Nostrils and roots. Roots, darling, roots! Yeah. She says, booyaka in that place. Roots, darling. Chelsea art, everything's Chelsea art, roots, Chelsea art, booyaka, Chelsea art, this, Chelsea art, that. And she knocks about with that weirdo called Modine, or whatever he's called, who was born in England from Iraqi parents, got that good on TikTok that he flew to America, and as he landed in America, they went, no, you can fuck off, and they sent him to Iraq. He's never lived in Iraq or anything. So currently, he's out in Iraq and can't get back into England, even though he was born here. But yeah, the stuff she comes... I don't care if I'm promoting her, Brian. It's worth it. A lot of channels out there will film her live. So I won't go on her live and watch it. But I do go on what they call the awareness accounts. So you can still see the comments and you still see a ballooning. But it's actually the other... I do it with Kabula. So when I'm doing it and it's running, it's me who's getting the views and not them. And it's one way of doing it. It's one way of working out. Because they're monetized. I'm not monetized. Yeah, so I don't get any money on TikTok. So it's just like, I just do that because it's funny and it's a laugh. But this, I don't know, Tammy Hull. But because, I'm hoping you guys will understand, because this has been like BBR investigations and I'm Deborah Hatswell and I've always had a little bit of my humour in there, but I've never been able to like just do this and just natter. And I tried it last month, didn't I? And when I tried, people were throwing like, oh, will you look at these photos for me? And did you get this? And I thought, that's not why I want to go live. I don't want to go live and be a secretary for Bigfoot. I just want to go live and have a laugh. And if the paranormal comes into the conversation, then that's fine. But I can't keep doing scripted lives. I'm not like Andy Decodes and the rest of him. That was me 15 years ago. And I've done my time. I've earned my stripes, and I'm allowed to just go. I don't want to do it for a while. I just need to show me toes. And Brian, there's a woman on OnlyFans, and she left school in America, and she had a debt of about £110,000, and she was not prepared to show any parts of her body other than her feet or her hands. This is really true. And she'll get like a cream cake and stand on it, or like just this weird stuff like squash a banana with her toes. And she said, even like her foot scrapings and stuff, she bags them up and sells them. And in a year, she paid off £110,000 in debt. And then he's like, us lot working outside and scrabbling for an extra bottle of milk or something this week. It's madness, isn't it? It's absolute. I see them throw money at him all of the time, right? They just throw money at him over and over and over again. And some people, and I didn't work it out before, some people who hate the haters will send the money to bug the people who don't want it to get money. Do you get what I mean? So it's like coming from all different aspects and different sizes. So there'll be people over here fighting. I ain't got a dog in the fight, but it's not my problem. There's people over here fighting, and then there's people over here funding her and other TikTokers to keep that fight going, if you get what I mean. I wish it had been around the time that fucking Dogman was about, because we could have ripped the crap out of him. You can get away with so much more on TikTok than you can on YouTube. I get flagged all the time on YouTube and very rarely get flagged on, well, apart from my comments. I'm a little bit blunt when I'm on YouTube in a mankini. At one point in my life, like, do you remember chat lines? Do you remember when they very first started, they were run by BT, the old BT phone company. And it was like 005, 005, 00, 005. And they used to have mods on it. And like, I was a mod back then. And what you do is you'd mod the conversations to make sure it wasn't, you know, getting racy, or people weren't giving like their addresses and information out and some stuff like that. And I stumbled in this conversation. So you don't join in, you just listen. It was a cracking job. You got paid for being nosy. And like, I did it at night after my normal job. It's how we paid for our kitchen. I just sit there and I'm listening. And there's this guy talking to this girl. He's clearly much older than her. And I am supposed to step in at this point because he starts talking about a monetary exchange. But I'm not fucking nosy, I'm listening. And what he wanted us to do was, he wanted us to arrive with a whole box of cream cakes, as many cream cakes as she could get. He funded it. When she got there, he's like black bagged the wall off, and he wanted us to throw the cream cakes at her, and every time she got a bullseye, he'd give her an extra 50 quid. And I never pressed report. I thought, go for it, girl, go for it. Yeah, why not? And just left him to it. You know? It's the strangest thing. Babe station, gotta remember that. There was a girl who worked on it, one Jane, who lived round here, and like, she was bad. She was bad in the pubs and everything. Yeah. I can't stand that Modine, so I'm really happy that he's stuck in Iraq. I think it's brilliant. We need to get that Mr. TikTok UK, who I cannot stand. He's a middle-aged man who dresses as an 11-year-old boy and dances in the street with a transistor radio. He needs to go. And if I had my way, I'd get rid of that horrible Corrie, and I'd get rid of that delusive Ange. I can't stand her. I don't know how anyone can give delusive Ange money. She actually physically assaults her 80-year-old mother. Who lives at home in the mum's back room and drinks herself that much that they pee the bed on her live, you know? And there's a few on TikTok begs that I'd get rid of. But Modine, he deserved it, didn't he? He didn't check. He should have read it before he got there. I don't think it's been as simple as he's landed in that country. I think he's gone and he's used at some point, yeah? Because he would never, like, ICE got involved and he's like, whoa, I'm from England. And we're like, no, you're classed as an Iraqi to us, and they send him back to Iraq. I think it's brilliant. I've had some very weird, like, being nosy. I wouldn't say I was nosy. I would say I am a collector of information. So over the years, when I've been collecting information, I've come up with some fucking right strange things. And you've got to remember, I grew up in a port town, and my uncle was a drag queen back in the 70s, and he was one of the hardest men, you know. But like the stories he used to tell us, or the stuff that I'd see, because back then you could go in a pub at 14. Like, your parents are always in pub. You just go in pub, don't you? Can I have some crisps? Can I have some money for the machine? Can I have a drink? And my dad would go pick 2 out of them free and I'd be like, can I have a drink and some crisp? And then they just carry on. Everyone always had a do. So if there was an 18th or an engagement or a 21st, there was a do. Everybody went to do. So that happened a lot. And then there'd be times when my parents would go and watch The Turns. Now, that might be a northern term, but it was like acts. They used to go and watch the, like, you know, like, do you remember members of the committee? Wheel Tappers and Shunters Club. So you get like a singer would come on, and then some guy would come on with like a magician, like Opportunity Knocks. They used to go and watch The Turns, didn't they? Well, honestly, I'm not going to get married to, you know, my husband would not be happy about that whatsoever. Mark, is it okay if I marry this foreign man on YouTube? So he don't care, actually, apparently. He won't be able to. He'll have an hearing aid, though. Wheel Tappers and Shunters Club, members of the committee. As if it was good. Do you remember Peters and Lee? He'd be there, like, and she'd sing. He was supposed to be a blind piano player, and he'd get 1 pint and pour it into the other pint like that. Not a problem. Yeah. Opportunity Knocks. Yeah, every week, Lena Zavaroni won it. Didn't matter who were on, Lena Zavaroni won it. Never understood it. Now I understood it a lot, because she was a little girl, wasn't she? She was 14 and it were on BBC. But you'd have like these cracking acts on, like really good comedians, and they go, oh, Lena Zavaroni's won again. And you'd be like, oh, I wonder why Lena's won. Yeah. I don't know, if you was really blind, have I destroyed your dreams? Sit down and have a fruit tea. Because if some woman you don't know on the internet knocks you back and it really affects your day, I think you might not be ready for a relationship. So you're going to have a little lie down, sweetie. Have a fan like that, a little bit of a sweet tea. I'm sure you'll feel better for it. I don't know. Who was anorexic? The blonde woman? Didn't know that. Oh, Lena Zavaroni. Yeah, she did. She did, didn't she? She clearly something's gone on there, hasn't it, Glossy? You know? But it was always her, wasn't it? Like, on the clapometer, you get cracking. Do you remember Marty Kane, the ginger female comedian? The very first time she was on, there was Opportunity Knocks, and then there was another one. And it was like, I can never remember what it was called, but it was the same kind of thing. And it was a panel of judges. And an act had come on, and the judges would decide whether they were brilliant or not. And the first time Marty came on, she fell down the stairs. And everybody thought it was an accident, but it was part of the act, and it broke the ice. She was brilliant. People in the audience were standing up, clapping and everything. And fucking Lena Zavaroni won. I was really mad about that. Yeah, but when you look back on it now, it makes absolute sense, doesn't it? I tell you what, there's how do I explain this one without giving his name? Oh, what did he used to? He was on Tiz was. He used to say something like Waganda or something. Don't say his name, and don't say his name in the chat. Comedian, supposedly. Married to a female comedian. And his name has 2 first names in it. Like something Henry, Lenny something. He used to do a lot of he was the Lenny. The only way I can put this is he was the Jimmy Savile of Tiz was. Let's put it like that. Yeah. And I can't go into detail on here. Why? I know, but I do know. Yeah. Who's Sulan? Who's that, Joe? We loved. Get them to do Keir Starmer one. I like that one when they sing that song. It really makes me day. Is it Sunderland? I don't follow football or anything. It's 10:30, innit? I didn't realise it was that late. In a minute, I'm going to have a brew and I'm going to have some sticky toffee pudding. But yeah, like I say, I've got a video that Glassy Gleamer did for me. And he went out to Ashford and spoke to a witness there. And like I say, it's about an hour and a half. So I think I'm going to put it on so we can just have a natter while it's on. And then people will go watch it again. That's what normally what happens when I do it like this. Radio Caroline. Oh, good God. I remember that. Wasn't that a ship out at sea? I think it was, wasn't it? So that they could get past the law. And it was at the time when parents thought that music was major, you know, it was satanic and all of that. Honestly, Brian, if you'd have asked me 3 years ago what I thought of Mr. Trump, I would have swore at you. But the last 12 months has really changed my opinion, in all honesty. And I really hope he takes the BBC down. Because what they did to him was an hatchet job. Yeah? And if we allow him to get away with that, especially the way that they're reporting at the moment, I'm going to do a show at some point, either next week or the week after, because I've been collecting media stories that have only gone out into local newspapers, right? They haven't hit the headlines, they haven't gone mad. And all of them are ordinary people who are just going about their ordinary. They're not out there fighting, they're not stood out there with the flag, they're walking the dog, they're going to school, they're riding the bike, that have been harmed in a very bad way and even unalived by people that have come into the country illegally. And at one point last month, there was one every day for 16 days as they came in on my media alert. And I was like, they are definitely blocking stories. I put a video out on how when they come on the marches, all those signs are the same. What is the odds, right? That 500 people come out. There's never 500 people, but the BBC will say, if there's 8 lefties, they'll say 500 people came out in protest. Every one of them signs is exactly the same sign, in the same font, with the same colouring, and the same stick. And I got took down for stating that. And then, because that part of it, I said, and it's not just that, explain to me how every single one of the dinghies is by the same maker. Every single one of the life jackets is exactly the same. And they took me thing down, they were like, boom. And I lost my monetisation for a month. Yeah, so like the last month we had nothing because I'd put that out. No, I wouldn't have minded that one on, Brian, about the traffic. I live in close to Bolton, Rochdale, Bradford, Leeds, the whole 9 yards. And people think it's a new thing, and it isn't. One of my family members was 16 when it happened to her, and she's 38 now. Our Vicky were 15 when she had her son, and it was exactly that kind of situation. And I was telling people on TikTok, and nobody believes me. There was one night when my family member got into a car with a friend, and there were 4 other men in it, all illegal, no driving licence between any of them. And I was doing everything I could to get her out of the car, and they wouldn't open the door. She didn't want to be in there. She wanted to get out. They dragged her into the car. And honest to God, I was kicking the doors. I smashed his wing mirror. I wanted to make as much noise as I could so the police would come. And they did. The police arrived, and they said that they'd arrest me for doing what I was doing. Night, Vicky, sweetheart. And I said, arrest me. She's a 15-year-old girl and she's 14. And like, why are they in the car with these grown men? Every single one of them is illegal. The car's not taxed, MOT'd or insured, and you're going to arrest me. And they let the car drive off. I was hysterical. I was so mad. I was so mad. I was so mad, I can't tell you. But honestly, I don't think people believed me at the time. And the police had no interest. And I thought, like everybody else out there, that if you got pulled and you were here illegally, it was an automatic, you're illegal, you go somewhere. That was happening 25 years ago. So I know for some people it's new. But if you live in certain areas of the country, yeah, near a certain demographic, it isn't. I am terrified. Have you seen my Layla? Has anyone seen my Layla? She's probably 5'1", weighs about 6 stone. She's tiny. right? And her dad is Kurdish. So even he will take her out for a meal, or he'll take her into like Levenshulme or somewhere like that. And he gets so angry because of the men. They'll pull her hair, they grab at her clothes. And it's like, it's unbelievable. It's like being abroad. So when she has work, Mark will drive her and bring her home. Because the amount of time she's been followed, or there's been like someone in a slow car propositioning her. It's terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Yeah, and nothing happens about it. You've got to remember, we don't have a police station. There's no police station here. You'd either have to come in from Salford or coming from Bolton. It's all over and done with by then, isn't it? Yeah, so it's just like, it's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. And it's just, I can't do this kind of content on YouTube without them closing me down. I can do it on TikTok, and I could probably get away with it on a Facebook Live. Maybe. Yeah. And now that I don't have my business pages, it wouldn't matter if I got a ban. Because I'd just get like a normal person ban, and I'd be back on in like 30 days or something. But yeah, it's just, we know exactly, don't we? We know exactly what's going on, and we know exactly why it's happening. And there's one word that I want to push, and I want to push it as much as I can, and I want you to use it as often as you can, because there is a certain word that means fear, but that's phobe. But it's been turned by other people to mean a slur or a dig. So somebody who was homophobic or Islamophobic. One word you never hear is Anglophobe. And that is an inherent hatred of anything that is British. We never hear that said anywhere. We hear all the other phobes, don't we? Thrown out consistently over and over again. 4 months ago, an MP called us all nonsense. Nobody ever says the word Anglophobe. No, it's not booyaka, it's Anglophobe. And that's exactly what we've got going on at the moment. It's like, you daren't say anything, you daren't type anything, you daren't write anything, you daren't say anything. And then you're like, hang on a minute, these fuckers are walking away from grapes and all sorts, and I can't express my opinion as a human being who's paid into the system for most of my life. That's what they're doing, isn't it? Yeah, but yeah, booyaka. That's what we need. This is booyaka someone out of the fucking government, I know that. And now they're saying that the head of Home Office, the one I don't like, Mahmood, that she might be Prime Minister before Christmas. The country will erupt. The country will literally erupt. Yeah, and like, I can't wait for it. I can't. I don't care. Yeah, booyaka. I'm going to get known as the second booyaka lady, aren't I? If I'd have been more well on Halloween, I was going to go on TikTok dressed as her. But I was that day. But I said to Mark, he went, what are you going to do for Halloween? You normally do something funny. I went, I'm just going to go as booyaka. I'm just going to go as Chelsea Art. And he just cracked off laughing. I was like, I'll just make my eyebrows dead dark like that. Wrap a pair of kecks around my head. She only ever wears white. She only ever wears white clothing on, yeah. Hiya, Jem. So I'll put loads of white clothing on and just do me lipstick like that. She has them, when they pump the lips full of stuff. She has them. Honestly, she's got a face like she's chewing a wasp. I've got to be honest. She looks like she's walked into a wasp nest, and they've stung the shit out of her, and she's rolled around for about an hour and a half. Fox turd and everything. And then she's booyaka in the place again. Fine. But isn't it bad that, like, society, and I'm very guilty of it, it's really great sometimes to watch somebody you don't like literally unfold before your very eyes. Because it's not that she's a lovely woman and I just don't like her because I'm mean. It's because she's been rubbing people. She's only been rubbing my nose in it for about 12 months, but she's been awful to people the entire time, and mean and skitty and bullying and everything that she gets away with that she does. But I find it ridiculous that a woman of her age does not know about karma. That has got to come home to roost. You can not pay the tax, man. They will follow you to... Do I support the moniker over the London mayor? I'd get rid of the mayor in a moment, and I'd get rid of the moniker as well. I don't believe in either of them. Yeah, no. I don't. I think we have the royal family because it's really good for tourism. Yeah, and it was pointless having a king because a king can't say. I don't know what we'd replace it with, Hannah. I really don't. I really don't. And I don't know how to fix that problem. I'm just somebody who's on YouTube. Yeah, I clearly don't have the education that you have on the subject. So it's a bit of a trick question for me, really. But I do not believe in the monarchy. I'm not a royalist, and I do not believe in Mr. Khan. I think he has his own interests at heart. Who would I put in? Ant Middleton. Yeah, I don't know the answer to this, and I don't know the way forward on this, but I know what's wrong, and I know what's unfair, and I know what's unequal. Yeah, and I don't understand why Andrew was left with all of that money and all of that, everything that he's had and been protected from his entire life. He should have been ripped of his title when the very first rumours started to come out. I don't agree with that at all. I don't. I don't agree with serving soldiers coming home and not having anywhere to sleep or eat. I don't agree with families being in homeless units while people eat off gold plates. But that's just me. That's just my opinion, you know. That's absolutely my opinion. And people have been called a racist. I've been called far right. I've been called a lot of awful words. And I'm not those things. I'm not any of those things. All I want is... if a man, regardless of colour, race or creed, goes and works a 12-hour shift to feed his wife and his family, I don't understand why he's taxed in the same way as an MP who earns 5-figure sums. I don't think that's fair, and I don't think it's right. I don't think it's fair that people on benefits get first choice, first place, get everything for free, when there are working families out there that absolutely cannot pay for gas or electric. They should be helped. I don't think it's fair that anybody who's working and has children has to pay an enormous amount of money for childcare. I think that should be free. And I think that should be free for a simple reason. People will throw at you that, oh, the Brits won't do those jobs. They won't do them. They would for a decent wage. For a decent day's pay and a decent wage, that's where I am on the political level. I have been a Labour voter since I was 18. My dad was in Transport and General Workers, always voted Labour. My uncles, my aunties, my grandparents, my mum, my dad, and so did I, until the last election. And as a mum, I have drummed it into my girls that women have only had the vote for just over 100 years in the UK. And how dare they not vote? And for the first time on that last election, I didn't vote because I didn't know which one was the worst of the two evils. And do you know, 20 million people didn't vote like me because they didn't want to vote for what we had, our choices. It's like going to a restaurant and everything on your table is spoiled and acrid and mouldy, and they ask you to pick a dish, you know. And I'd change a lot of things. I really, really would. If I was Prime Minister, the first thing I would do is I would put the Navy in the ocean, and I would put the Army in the streets and on the beach. And I would not be having this in London, where it is not acceptable for somebody to go to work and be terrified of being unalived, or have the phone stolen, or have the bag stolen. All of that when there is CCTV on every single inch. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Khan doesn't give a shit about the people in London. He doesn't care. He cares about what's coming in because they are future voters. Everyone that comes over that thing is a future voter. And that's why they're doing what they're doing. They're doing what they did to the Irish back in the day. And it's worse for the Irish now. Far worse for the Irish now. You've got to think they've got a higher immigration level than us. And they are 5 times smaller. And it's in, and it's in, and it's in. And there's no out. I guarantee you, and I'm not being a psychic when I tell you this, I watch media alerts all of the time. And I've seen over the past couple of days alerts saying that the government are about to come out with a big statement. And that statement's going to be about the connection between illegal immigration and the high rate of words that I can't say on YouTube that's happening to women, men, girls, the whole 9 yards. Ordinary people. One chap was walking his dog and they did it in front of his 14-year-old daughter. One man actually died. She was 10. The girl was 10 and it was his daughter. And it was so bad that she died. And it's not out there. And it was only last month. It's not from 1977. You don't know about that case. Why is that not in the Daily Star, the Daily Mirror, the Sun? But we're reporting on the Ukraine. We're reporting on everything that's going on around the world, but we're not reporting this. But I tell you something, every time it's the other way around, they run with it. I watched a video and I've saved it, right? And it's one guy and he's in London and he is surrounded, absolutely surrounded, and they are pushing him and they are swearing at him in foreign language, and all he wants to do is get away from them. And they reported it as man attacks immigrants in London. One man attacks 200 people. It's utterly ridiculous. No, never take anything Brian says serious. Brian's a joker. He uses humour to when he gets stressed. He's a bit like me. Yeah. But honestly, Brian, that's what it's like in areas. You see it because you live not that far from Boston, so you do see it. And it, like, I've had people say to me all of the time, like, "Oh, Debbie, you're racist." I'm like, no, it's nothing to do with that. Believe me, there's people exactly the same as me who I would kick out of this country even quicker than I would them. Yeah, I'd be dead if it wasn't for immigration. I've had operations. I wouldn't be in England if it wasn't for immigration, because all of my forefathers emigrated here from Ireland or Spain or Germany or Sweden. So I'm actually born from being an immigrant. My DNA says that's what I am. But I do believe that when you come here and you prepare to work and pay into the system and make it a better place, I'm all for that. I'm all for that all day long. And it's just, I want it back to how it was. I want our Zane to be able to go out without fear of him. Did you hear, like, twice this week that there's been what Brian just said with a bladed article at schools? Because you won't know, they want to put it on the mainstream. And that is people who have gone into that school looking to take somebody and have ended up I told you about the one in Ireland. The girl in Ireland, Joe, she was probably, I think she was in her 40s. She took a man who was blind and disabled to an hospital appointment. When she gets back, she goes into the house and there's a lad from Somalia upstairs in the bedroom doing things to himself. So obviously she screams in panic and he runs out of the house, and being a bit feisty, she runs after him and he goes into the hotel. So obviously she's outside the hotel, she's kicking off, she's shouting, all 9 yards. Police arrest her. Put her on, say it was the Friday, on the Monday they put her in remand, and I think a case was heard September just gone. The lad didn't get arrested, didn't get moved, nothing. But she did. It is the same in the United States, Honor. Exactly right. Do you know in the UK, Honor, that you can be... I know two people that have been arrested for silent prayer in the street. It doesn't happen to any religion other than Christians. So Christian people in a Christian country can be arrested for praying outside of a church. And two people have, a man and a woman. One woman's been arrested 3 times because obviously she's an activist and she wants to make it known that it's actually illegal in the UK to stand in the street and preach the word of God. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Absolutely ridiculous. So I just want that changing. I want that tipping. I want the same as what my Irish ancestors got. My ancestors from Prussia, when they came here with their own language, right? And they came here with their own customs and traditions, but they didn't at any point demand that all of society changed to accept that. They moved in and kind of assimilated, and we shared their customs and our customs. Yeah? And I think that's the way that you do it. I don't think that the analogy I give, if I rock up tomorrow at Canada, can I get off the plane and say, do you know what? I don't think I'm going to go back to the UK. I don't like it anymore. But I haven't got enough money to stay here for a long time. So can you house, clothe and feed me? For how long, Deb? Well, I don't know. Probably an indefinite period, really. Well, he's talking about 5 year or 10 year. Well, it depends, doesn't it, when I feel like going to work. But if I don't learn the language and I don't assimilate, then I don't have to go to work. So yeah, probably till I pass away. And I'll need a mobile phone, obviously. And you can't expect me to learn your language, so you'll have to pay for translators for me. And everything, like you'll have to change your skills and the way you worship and your holidays. Tesco, put all of the Christmas stuff out. Not a Christmas word anywhere. Festive season, right? It's fucking Yule. It's always been Yule. We live in the UK. It's Yule. We weren't allowed to use the word Easter. We've always had a stera in the UK from the very dawn of man. But how dare we use that? It more than boils my piss, believe me. How dare they? How dare they demand that I don't carry on the traditions of my ancestors because they want to carry on the traditions of theirs? It's either none or all. And that's what I'm asking for. So when people go to me, you need your thing, you're taking down, you're this, you're that. No, it's not. No, thank you. I don't do that outside of my own species. Sidar. Won't happen, fortunately for you. But yeah, you get that. Because how dare you speak up? How dare you as a woman speak up? How dare you? I've had men say to me on TikTok, your husband needs to have a word with you. And my husband has laughed. It just, you know, all of it. I hate all of it. I've met the nicest people in my life, right? And they've been from all walks of colour in life. And I've met the worst people in my life, and it's exactly the same. Scum comes in all colours, doesn't it? I'm not sure what he's kicking off about. I think it's because we won't change our language, our religion, our food, the way we dress, the way we talk, the way we move, everything about ourselves to accommodate him. Doesn't really bother me, that. I'm gonna wait, where did I put it? No, there's not a fuck to be given, unfortunately. I can't find it anywhere. Might be in my bag over there, a fuck, so I'll have a look in a minute when I get off the bed. Do you know what else might work, mate? Get off the internet, trolling, and go and get yourself a good job. You go and get yourself a good job. Go and work 12 hours a day. Earn. Pay some money into your country. Fix your country up. Don't come legging it here and leave your women and your children back there. Because the men of the UK are very different. Said if. The men in this country, if there was a war, would put all of the women and children in safety, and they would stay here and they would protect us at every cost. They're not like you. They don't run and leave the vulnerable. At the first sign of trouble, they leave the vulnerable and run. Yeah? Us Brits can't understand that because our men, our Scottish, Irish, Welsh and English men would put us at safety and would stand in front of us and would protect us to every minute of every day. And that is the difference, Sadaf, between you and the men in this chat tonight. So there's nothing you can say. There's nothing you can try. There's no manipulation. There's no cards to play. You're clearly a very, very small fish in a really large ocean. So it might be better for you at the moment if you remove yourself from the chat. Go and learn. I'll tell you something my nana told me, and I learned it when I was 5. Manners and knowledge cost and weigh nothing. Carry them with you at all times. And that there, Siddharth, is cultural enrichment, guys. That's what we need in our country. That man there who's having a go at me for being a woman, not covering myself, and not saying or asking his permission to speak. That's what it is, isn't it, Siddharth? The word Gora will be getting shouted at the computer now, like, man. Why don't you go back to the thingy room and go and con wealthy people in your call centre? Hello. But go and do that. One phoned us up the other week. Oh, brilliant. It was a man. And it was like, hello, Deborah, in a very bad accent. I'm phoning from Virgin. And I said, yeah, I don't have Virgin. Oh, no, it must be O2. I don't have O2 either. Well, it might be EE. I'm not really sure. What's your correct name call, mate? He went, Barbara. I cracked off laughing. I went, oh, fucking hell, someone's give you the wrong sheet. They've given you the woman sheet and you're the man. Like, Barbara, he was so not happy with me. So not happy with me. And I once kept one on the phone for an hour, honest to God. Countering misogyny with racism. Well, it depends on how you look at it, innit, really? The guy who did it was a different race than me, and he brought that into the subject. I didn't. So maybe, Stephen, go and have a chat with Siddharth, because I find that misogyny and that other word come hand in hand, sweeter. And I tell you why I think like that. Because it isn't 2,000 years BC. It's 2025. You see this finger? Go like that on your screen and do that. It's called scrolling, lover. Have a little scroll. Go educate yourself somewhere. If you don't like what I'm saying, don't buy the car. Why did I bring a call centre in it? Because the guy that phoned me was in a call centre scamming me. I've never ever, and guys, put your hand up in the chat now. Have you ever had a scammer ring you that was English? Let's see all the hands go up in the chat now, shall we, Stephen? How many of you have had a call trying to get your money or into your accounts or into your computer and rip you off? How many of them were English? None of them. So before you throw that card at me, there's a difference between what you think and what I know. And what I know is every time my phone's gone and I've answered it and it's been a dupe call, it was not an English person on the end of that phone. Every time my computer has sent me something saying, you've got a virus and you need to ring us now, it's never come from an IP address in England. So, Stephen, carry on as much as you want. So you have a scammer from Australia. Brilliant. That's great for you. But it's never happened to me in the UK. Never at any point. So out of every single person in this chat, the man that raised the wrong argument, who wasn't right, suddenly went, well, I am right, because once it happened to me in Australia. I'm in the UK, sweetie pie. It doesn't happen here. There's no one in the UK phones you up and tries to rip you off. That comes from Bangladesh or over that side. Yeah, it's nothing to do with us. I've never had a message come through Facebook asking me about some government fund, some list that I'm on, and can I click on this link? Never had that of a white person. Never. So you carry on with your, how's my cancer treatment doing? Really, really well, Nadia. What have I done? Have I touched a nerve? This is what happens, innit? Let's see how many cards you play. Come on, I'm well up for this. Are you ready? Let's hear it. No, let her say it, Brian. Let her show herself up for what she is. I guarantee you. Let her show herself up for what she is. Let's have a bit of it. Yeah? I hear it all the fucking time. You're not going to shut me up. I used to bring me dad the wrong tools, believe me. I know what a bollockin's like. Yeah, leave them in. Let them make a fool of themselves. How dare her? How dare her? How dare I say what I say? Yeah? How dare I? Do you know how I dare? Because I'm 58 years of age and I've lived in this country my entire life and I've paid into the system, as did my parents, as did my grandparents, all the way back to the 12th century, right? So if I want to have an opinion on the UK, I'll have it. Now, before you say I've offended you, work out that being offended's a choice. What you mean is you disagree with me. So you can disagree with me and I will be perfectly fine. It won't affect me in any way, shape or form. But you will have a problem with something that I've said. That's on you, sweetie pie. That's on you. Now, there's something to be said for a person that goes on YouTube on a Saturday night looking for somebody to have an argument with. He didn't remove it. He put it back in, Stephen. Scroll back up, darling. Your scrolling skills are dreadful. But yeah, I don't care. If you don't agree with me, Stephen, you don't agree with me. That's absolutely fine by me. It doesn't change the way I feel. Like you said, you're not in the UK. So you're not talking about something that you understand. You don't live here and you haven't lived here for generations. It is as ridiculous as me telling you what's happening in Australia, isn't it? Well, maybe you said something that YouTube didn't like, Stephen, and they flagged it. Yeah? Nobody in here is out to get Stephen. We didn't come looking for you, Stevie. We didn't go, oh, fucking hell, where's Steve? And I'll go find you. You came over here. I don't care if your last thing's removed. I really don't care. It doesn't matter what Nadia says. I'm not interested. It won't change what I'm having for my dinner tomorrow, and it won't pay me rent. Will it? Absolute fucking loons, aren't they? That's what mods are for. Stephen is some man from Australia who's telling me how I'm wrong about my country, what I live in. That's Stephen. So it's like me saying this, you know, who are you, Honda Hobbs? A person who asked a question in a chat, who came in really nice, wasn't rude like you, you know, didn't know us, involved herself in the conversation. We get along, we're doing okay. Because Honor didn't say, even though I've never stepped foot in your country, I'm going to tell you why you're wrong. I've never lived in Adelaide. Should I tell you why the people of Adelaide are wrong? What, you just... I'm not wrong here, guys, am I? Yeah. I once had an American tell me that there was bears in the UK. And I said, no, there's not. There's not been bears in the UK for about 400 years. And he's like, yeah, there are. And I was like, no, honestly, there's not. I thought he was kidding. I was like, no, honestly, there's not. There's no bears in the UK. And he's like, yeah, there are. And I was like, but there aren't. We don't have bears in the UK. And he's like, I'm telling you, there are. And I was like, why? Have you lived in the UK? And he was like, no. And I went, mate, that's as ridiculous as me saying to you that there aren't any big cats in America. It's like, I couldn't tell him what kangaroo shit smells like, could I? No, people can't agree to disagree. It's all more about being right than it is about just accepting that not every single person in the world is going to bombard and kill them all. You know what I mean? You're never going to agree with somebody all of the time, are you? You're just not. Yeah, and it's part of growth, I think, as a human being, is to work that one out. There are going to be people who do not agree with you. Thoughts on deja vu? Oh, I find it fascinating. Is it 1,000 years ago? I didn't know that. a lot of the people in the chat will jump onto the deja vu thing. I find that really, really interesting, deja vu, because is it a momentary, as your brain scanned out the situation, and then it takes a second for the, like, your 2025 brain to kick in, and you think, shit, I've been here before, because it really does feel. And sometimes you think, oh my God, I know what's about to happen, doesn't it, as it happens. So is deja vu a bit more wrapped up in the paranormal, maybe? Or is it because, as human beings, we're made to, like, pick up on a million things around us without realising? Yeah, on possible time slips, Brian. Oh, I don't even know who that is. Who's Deja Kiss's brother? I don't know. It's like me saying to you, what do you think about Aoife, who runs the Sunmen shop? I'm on YouTube. It doesn't mean I'm an oracle and I know every subject. I don't know who you mean, sweetheart. I have no idea. Yeah. Who do they mean, Brian? Yeah, looking bear pit in local pub. I got to be honest. Oh, right. No, I see. When you're a content maker, the last thing I want to do when I'm not doing this is go on YouTube and watch other people do this. It's mad, isn't it? So, yeah, I don't get involved in YouTube drama. I never do. Deja vu was a much better thing, yeah. These moments, I remember once as a school trip in England, what they would do is they'd take you to, like, the big mansion houses, you know, like where Henry VIII lived, or, you know, Elizabeth I may have stayed there, sort of big stately homes and stuff like that. I remember going to one when I was a kid, and it was either Tatton Hall, it was definitely, it was either Bramhall Hall or Tatton Hall, I can't remember which one it was. And we walked into this room, and it was like a bedroom, and I honestly felt like I'd been there before, and I didn't like the feeling, and I wanted to get out of that room. But as we opened the door, and I just thought, oh my God, I've been here before, and it frightened me. It was very lucid, and I remember it a lot. I would have only been about 11 or 12. But yeah, it fascinates me. Is it? I've always had that thing, you know, Connor, whether the supernatural or the paranormal, as we call it, is that natural human ability that we've always had, right? From being cavemen when we were in the cave. Is it that natural ability? We were able to communicate with each other before we had speech. So remember, that must have happened. There must have, and as we've got more and more modern, we've kind of shut that down because we use a different part of our brain now. And so sometimes we get a little glimpse into the paranormal, into a different part of the world. Because do I believe in God? I do believe in the Creator. Yeah, like the source, like I believe that we're all from the same source. I wasn't raised with religion. I've got to give you some context, haven't I? I wasn't raised religious, and I grew up through a time called the Troubles. I'm not sure if you've heard of them in Ireland. And I had, like, family on both sides of that. So religion was a very tricky subject in England in the 70s, 80s, 90s. Still is, to be honest. It's still a very, very sore subject between Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland. So both of my parents weren't really raised religiously, and I wasn't. But I've seen some miraculous things, and I do believe in the greater God. I do believe in the All One, and that we all go back to source. And I do. Oh, I've been to Ordsall Hall. Yeah, do you know, Kevin, you must be Salford 5, Salford 6 if you've mentioned that. What did it feel like to you when you was in the hall? For me, it was like Chicken Little. I felt all the time like I had to kind of shrink myself down. And the girl whose mum was she was like the caretaker. Helen's mum was the caretaker. She actually lives up here, Helen. She's my age. And she grew up in Ordsall Hall. And I remember asking her if it was haunted. She went, oh, God, yeah, it is. So her mum was like, they didn't call it the caretaker when it's a museum, do they? They have a proper name, like a curate or something like that. But that's what her mum did. I've been to Oldham. I did it. I should explain, comrade. I did paranormal investigations, like cryptid investigations, UFO, that kind of thing. But I retired a couple of months ago because I've had an injury. So I went to, it'll come to me in a moment, I went where the dwarf stone was in Oldham. Oh, crikey. It'll come to me in a minute. Can't think of it. And because a woman had contacted me, and it was actually a Christmas report. It was either Christmas Day or Boxing Day, something like that. And they saw some strange blue lights, and they were kind of flickering and moving, like fairies, she called them, and not like a fairy on a cartoon, but just blue orbular lights, energy. And she felt that they were drawing them more and more into the woodland. I'd have to get my laptop out to do it, definitely, but normally when I do a live stream, people throw like a town at me, and I'll look one up. But yeah, Oldham, I live about 15, 20 miles from Manchester, but I'm on the other side. I'm Bolton side. So I've gone across the moor and been Oldham way many, many times. And what's really weird is when you cross the moor, there's been times, I did a talk in Hull once, and we left Hull, and it was so hot. It was really, really hot. And as we got to the middle of the moor, it was snowing sideways. Mark's arms were aching just trying to keep the car on the road like that. And as we come over the crest and back down into the valley, it stopped. But it was really weird. It was like full on summer, and then you just get to the high point on the moor, and we were just snowed out. It was really strange. Do you know one thing I'd ask, if I can ask you guys a question? How did we, before global communication that we have now, back in the day, before nobody travelled to anybody's country or anything like that, how do we all have similar deities and similar, would you call them a negative deity? Like, how do I explain that? So like a wolf-headed man. Everywhere across the world, there is those stories of don't go into the woods, that the wolf will get you. And we talk about Anubis and the Scottish wolvers, and it's how was that in each country before we actually spoke about it? Do you get what I mean? People were reporting alien life all over the planet without actually communicating with the others. So that fascinates me. Like, how did all of that happen and get passed down by word over the centuries? It must have been important. It must have been important to be painting them in caves and, making paintings of them and all of that, like people coming from other planets and stuff. And maybe it's just always been natural. But I believe that human beings are not made for this modern world. Let's be honest, we were made to live in caves. We weren't made to live with all of the stuff that we have going on now. It's just really hard on humans, and that's why we have such a high disease rate and we have such a high depression rate, really, is because of the situation of society. I say it all the time now, society is the biggest cult in the world. But if it's all right with you guys, I am going to hang up now, because I didn't even realise it was nearly 11:30, and I'm going to have a cup of tea and get myself ready for bed. But yeah, if you don't mind me doing it like this, I'll come back on Saturday, yeah, and we'll just have a natter about anything. You can just throw questions at me. Thank you to every single person that tuned in, whether you are a regular or whether you are new. I'm sorry I've been so vacant lately, but it's just the illness, and I will get better. And I will definitely be coming back. I've really enjoyed tonight. It's been fun. It's like been sitting with my mates again. So yeah, hopefully you will see me again on Saturday. And until then, just have a brilliant week. Yeah. Even the ones that have been trolling me, have an amazing week. Yeah. I hope you have a brilliant week. So blessings from me. So good night, everyone.